Sister Pat. God bless Sister Pat. She was Catholic nun, you know. She's Irish, kind of like to party. She was always singing in church. I remember I was like with my two best friends and like we were angsting. We were like in seventh grade, like "Ugh, whatever, I don't want to sing." And she like threw the songbook at us, like hello.
I can visualize that book flying across the room. I'm talking today with Lizette Gesuden, filmmaker, editor, writer. Her laugh is so infectious. It's going to be a good chat. Stay tuned. And I am your humble host, Lucy Friend. This is my first ever podcast. So bear with me. I've got a lot to learn. How's everyone feeling about 2025? Bring it on, right? I'm ready. I'm going to spar with it. I'm going to give it an uppercut. Yeah, I think I'll get a bit more aggressive this year. Take the bull by the horns, as it were. All right, Lizette, tell me about your tattoo. You just got a new tattoo.
I did. So it's in here. It's a candle. So I got all these like symbols last year in a time of mayhem. So this is like the closing chapter for me, and it's a symbol of like lighting the way for a new chapter. It's kind of it sits differently when I have my arm down. But yeah, that's the new thing. And then this is a space reserved for a very special tattoo that I'll get eventually. I want to get a tattoo of one of my dad's ships that he served on. So we'll get there eventually.
Your dad wasn't born in America, was he?
Both of my parents are from the Philippines. I am a child of Filipino immigrants. I'm first generation here in America. Some of my cousins are here now, but yeah, first generation. That's where my roots are, the Philippines.
Represent the Philippines. How did your dad get over here?
So my dad kind of his route to America was via the US military. So a little bit of history of the Philippines. It's kind of I don't know if you would call it a colony formally, but the Philippines and the US have a very long relationship. And so the US has military presence in the Philippines. So he grew up like, near all the army bases and stuff because his father, my grandfather, who I never met, was part of the US Army. So he was kind of always around that. And he was kind of, as far as what he told me, he was like kind of a hooligan and he kept getting into trouble and stuff. And he was like, you know what? There's no future here. I might as well just join the U.S. military. So he signed up for the Navy. And according to him, the top sort of sailors, I guess you would say, they got chosen to be in the Coast Guard. So he was among that crowd. And so he ended up in the U.S. Coast Guard. And he landed in Alameda, California. That was the first place that he landed. So that's my dad's journey.
Was she already living in New Jersey then?
No. So fun fact is my parents are 21 years apart. So my dad is significantly older than my mom. So he was here in the late 60s, early 70s, and he kind of had his career and he was like bouncing around all over the world, being in the Coast Guard. He met my mom in 1985 when she came over here, and my mom is a registered nurse. And kind of similar story to sort of US and Philippines relationship. Nursing is kind of like a thing in the Philippines. So I don't really know the history, but it's like a thing where the US has provided education for nurses so that they can come over here. And my mom was kind of like in that sort of situation. So she kind of she went through schooling, decided she wanted to come here, came here knowing nobody. She had like $10 in her pocket, a suitcase. She made friends on the airplane, and then she came over here. And then they went and partied, and she met my dad. So that's how that started.
A suitcase and
Yeah,
$10?
maybe there was more than that, but she definitely just like packed it up and left. I asked her about it, and I was like, "Did you feel like scared or anything?" But my mom's kind of a hard ass, so she's just like, "No, I just packed up, and you just have to do what you have to do," and that's her like basic attitude towards life. Just do it, man.
Just do it. Forget your feelings. I feel like our parents, at least their generation, were stoic. Forget your feelings. Get on with
Basically,
it.
which, is not the healthiest, but I also kind of understand it because I mean, at the time, I don't know if it's still considered a developing nation, but Philippines was a developing nation. And so it was kind of like, this is a matter of survival. So whatever I'm afraid of right now, it doesn't matter. Like my father told me he was afraid of the ocean and he went and became a sailor. Like that's the level of like swallow your shit and do it. So it was a different time, but I like definitely appreciate the tenacity. I do more now than I did when I was growing up, especially from my mom.
Your mum, right? She was the breadwinner because your dad got really sick, right?
Yeah, so the age difference was a part of it. Kind of, I think when I came around, my dad sort of made the decision that he didn't want to be sort of like active anymore in the military, and so he formally retired. He was already doing this, but he became the manager of basically it's like the grocery store on Governor's Island in New York City, which used to be owned by the Coast Guard. So that was like his main job until the island closed down. And then yeah, through as I was growing up, my dad kind of had more health problems, and so my mom sort of took the charge. She was the executive producer of the family, as I like to say. She funded the operation.
There's a grocery store on Governor's Island that used to be run by the
Yeah,
military.
it used to belong to the Coast Guard. Like people live there. My dad's friends lived there, and like, they had a little grocery store, convenience store. It was like its own little sustainable town. People don't know that. It's like a park now, which is beautiful. It's really cool. I'm glad they did something with that island because it I spent a lot of my very early childhood there, and it's a cool place. So I'm glad they did something with
Yeah, you
it.
can take the ferry out there. It's beautiful.
Yeah. It's got the greatest views of downtown. It's so beautiful. Yeah. They got like a spa there now. Yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, things change and I'm just happy that they're using it because it was abandoned for a long
You
time.
can rent a bike and ride around it. Loads of slides too.
Yeah. It's a good chill spot. It's awesome. So much fun. How many years has it been now since you've been out of New York?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm so bad with the timeline of my life. I'm thinking 5 or 6.
Wow, 6 years. Well, you're always welcome to come crash while I'm still here because I'm trying to get my ass out of here too.
Yes, there are a lot of our friends that have left New York.
Yeah, man, it's a different place since we've hung out together. It's a little bit, I'm finding that it's a lot more homogenized. It's feeling like suburbia up in here post-COVID. People don't know how to walk on the sidewalks. It's like, y'all ain't from here. You don't walk fast enough. But yeah, that's how things are though. Things
Yeah, I
change.
remember working in like Times Square, the fashion district. And on your lunch break, you've only got a certain amount of time. There's all these tourists. You're like, move over and look at your phone. I got to
Time.
move.
There's never enough time. And here now it's everybody. No one walks in a straight line anymore in New York. It's incredible. I never thought I would see this day, but here we are.
I tell you what, when we went home, UK, England, um, I didn't think people were on their phone as much as they are over here. We were outside a lot, granted. So people were definitely enjoying nature, the
Really?
scenery. And we'd go to pubs and people are conversing, they're not on their phone,
Yeah.
constantly looking at their phone. You go out to restaurants here, people aren't even having a chat, they're looking at their phone.
Yeah, it's a weird like cultural thing. I do notice that too, because yeah, I just come from the UK as well this summer, and that is something I really enjoy. Like you can just go to the veggie shop and chat with anybody. Like people don't do that here. And I think that's what's spurring my change to like want to get the fuck out of this place. I love it here. It's always gonna be home, but Jesus, I would love to like live with no anxiety one day.
Okay, 21 years apart. So they get together. They got your brother. Shout out to Joe. And you're all in New Jersey. Do you go to public school, private school?
School was so yeah, my parents met in New York, but then they eventually were like, yeah, we're gonna go across the river and do family stuff there. So I grew up kind of like in the Newark area, if people kind of know where that is, I guess. Like there's an airport there. It's considered part of like the metro area still. But I was kind of basically grew up in suburbia. Um for whatever reason, my parents decided to put me in Catholic school. Well, both me and my brother in Catholic school, and that's where I started out. So I spent basically from the age of 3 to the age of 14 in Catholic school. And that was a mixed
Why
bag.
did they choose Catholic school?
It's kind of like confusing to me too. I kind of get it because the Philippines is extremely Catholic, so maybe that was like important to them. Um, my parents were not, and like they were not necessarily like very religious, but I think like culturally you have to like appear that you practice actively, and so it was like church every Sunday, go to Catholic school. Um, my mom was kind of like more into it. My dad was a lot more open-minded in terms in general, like politically, spiritually, whatever. My mom's more like, please go to Catholic school and like pretend you're like Catholic so that you don't make me look bad. She's gonna kill my ass.
Yeah, an ass kicking's coming your way, love.
But that's the vibe that I got definitely growing up. I think that was the reason why it was kind of like that's just the thing that you do, in the Filipino American community. So off I went to Catholic school.
That's the predominant religion.
It is, yeah. It's super Catholic. Super Catholic. There's in the Philippines there's a festival. There's a little thing. Oh, I should have brought it. I have one in the house, but it's like a little like child Jesus and he has like this red robe and it's like very like ornate and like every Filipino household has one like Santo Niño. He's like the man. But in a specific area of the Philippines, they have like a whole festival for him, and it's like Mardi Gras, and people like take the statue of Santo Niño and dance with him in the streets. It's actually like really cool. I haven't seen it myself, but it's like a big fiesta, but it's about Catholicism. It's kind of wild. So big component of being Filipino American is Catholic background, and I think that's why they made that decision. But me speculating. I don't really know why they did that.
So, would you say a lot of the kids you hung out with and like the parents, the families, it was like a big Catholic family
Yeah, I
vibe?
mean, I guess, any school you go to, you form communities. And like the area where I grew up in New Jersey is like super duper diverse. So basically all of the kids were kind of like in my situation, like first generation children of immigrants. So all our parents were like mad strict. Um, and we kind of like bonded over that.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that before. Parents are a lot more strict.
I guess it's like the pressure of like you gotta make it in this world. We brought you into this world and you can't be like a fuck up because we're like killing ourselves over here to survive. So no fun for you. But it wasn't I'm making it more severe than it sounded like because I didn't have a tortured childhood at all. You definitely had to have good grades and stuff. That was a big thing with my parents. It's like study, bring home these grades. I struggled with that because my talents don't lie in mathematics, and I was constantly getting these like really poor grades in math, but I was like getting extremely above average grades in like all my writing and English and all this stuff. Um, but my mom was like, "Something's wrong with you. You're not studying. Are you stupid?" Da da da. I'm like, "Oh my God, I just don't have the brain for it."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you get good grades, kids, here's a tip. If you get really good grades, your parents will leave you alone.
Yes, exactly. It's like, oh my God, get off my case. When am I ever gonna be good enough? I mean, yeah, it was kind of like that. That was how it functioned. If I got bad grades, then yeah. But I mean, looking at it now as an adult, it's like every kid's different. Like they're not gonna excel at everything. I guess there are like, oh God, yeah. I was kind of like in that crowd of like honors kids, so there were definitely kids that were like crushing everything. But yeah, girl was not that. I'm horrid at math, still am. Had really poor grades in that.
Did you have sex ed in Catholic school?
Ooh, hot question. So yeah, that was yeah, things got very interesting come fifth, sixth, seventh grade. I actually really had a hard time in school then, because of that whole the viewpoints in the Catholic church about sex, procreation, and what have you. Um, we had I forgot what it's called now. Remember the name of the book because like being like the girls in class would like all of us because we're you're kids, you're like 12 years old and it's just like, oh, there's a penis in the book, and we would like look at it and laugh. But the book was like called Fully Alive, and it would like tell you about your body is going to change and this and that, and like there was that, but it definitely was not what's the term, like pro sex or anything like that. Like that's a no. You have sex so you can have babies. And the other thing I didn't like was like it was not said outright, but it was kind of this implication that as a woman, your job on this earth is to like, create babies to further God's mission of like populating the earth or whatever. And I was not down with that from an early age. I was like, this is not this is not a life for me. I don't know. So I think that's contributed a lot to my life choices foundationally because I don't like being forced to do shit. I mean, if we're gonna be real about this and we want to like say these books are real and they need to be followed, they were written a really long time ago. Like I live in Brooklyn. The amount of strollers that you would see walking 5 minutes outside of this door. Like you really need me personally to like fucking do this? I don't know, man. That's just me, man. I just, that was kind of the thing. Like I said, I'm somewhat painting this in a brutal way. Catholic school was not all that bad. I definitely had really great teachers, really empathetic teachers. But the sort of idea that you like go to, school and you're being pushed a certain way, I think that's always ground my gears. I think people should think for themselves. And in my opinion, yeah, critical thinking. In my opinion, it's kind of like I'm not gonna take this book and follow it to a T, but that's not my style. I'm not saying it's wrong. If people want to do that, that's great. And if it works for you, that's great. But I went a different way, I think, when I finished with Catholic school.
Well, I know you're very creative.
I wrote in my journal, I think I was like 10 years old, and I was like, if I can be weird for 10 more years, I think that will be successful. I think that was my idea of success. So we did have art classes in Catholic school. I mean, I think the great thing about Catholic school is like we were such a small group. I think there was like we never got more than like 30 students. And then a lot of us grew up together. Like we started in preschool together and then graduated. So, you know, we were like in this little utopia bubble of youth that you like see the same faces every day, and that familiarity was like really, really lovely. Um, you get into trouble together, you like bemoan uh your angst together, and you don't really have to worry about being the new kid in school every single year. And I had that for like 10 years, so that was kind of lovely as a kid, so it wasn't all bad. Had a lovely principal, Sister Pat. God bless Sister Pat. She was like down. She was great. She organized like we had this thing called Spirit Week, and we would have like International Day, and all the parents would cook like mad food and bring it over to the school, and we would dress up in like whatever our country's like traditional outfits are. Like the little kids would come, like including myself, and you just like you make presentations about like this is where my family's from. She was kind of a big proponent of promoting that and promoting community. She was amazing. But Catholic nun, she's Irish. She's like kind of like to party. She was like always singing in church. I remember I was like with my two best friends and like we were angsting. We were like in seventh grade, like "Ugh, whatever, I don't want to sing." And she like threw the songbook at us like, "Hello." She's like super festive. Like not how you would think of like a Catholic nun. So she was incredible. We had her till I was about 12. Sister Pat, man. Sister Pat. God bless her. She was incredible.
Let's talk about your career. You've always been, a creative soul.
Yeah, I think I've always been kind of like an arty kid. Like again, like going back to Catholic school days, like I don't know what it is. I recently learned there is something like number dyslexia, and maybe I have that, but I just can't put like two and two together. Like literally, my brain cells are like rubbing each other and they're just like, oh, we can't do this. I don't know why. But it's because of that, I've always kind of gravitated towards like communication and art. Always been attracted to that. Music, love music up to this day. Like music is a huge part of my life. And storytelling. Yeah, I don't really know why. I think it's always something I've gravitated towards, and it's something that I definitely think it's like a thing in my family. I mean, nobody's like a career artist or a formal artist, but I think when you're immigrating to a different place in the world from so far away, inherently you're creative because you have to solve all these fucking problems going from point A to point B. So you're definitely using a creative brain. And I think storytelling has been a huge component of like at least the immigrant community that I've been a part of. Like everyone talks about where they're from, shares where they're from. And also to keep kind of like the memory of like the motherland alive if like you want to tell stories. So maybe that's where it came from. But yeah, I mean, I was so school was always like a big thing, you know. After Catholic school, I went to a public school, did freshman to senior year there. That was a great experience. Went to a college I hated at the behest of my mother again, the executive producer. You gotta go where the money is, you know? You don't have choices in this world in terms of like being an 18-year-old. So that's what happened. I went to school in Central Jersey. Survived that. But in that course of time, I originally wanted to be like a magazine writer. I would like as a teenager, I'm like, I want to write for the Rolling Stone and I want to meet all these musicians, da da da. Um, and then, you know, that kind of changed a little bit. I kind of saw the state of journalism. I'd already declared my major by that time, and I was like, I have made a grave mistake. This is really bad. I don't know that I can like function in journalism. Like, I don't really want to do that or be a part of this that world. Um, so I think it was like my junior year in college that I was like, I'm gonna do an English major, just add to my stress and dismay. But the golden part of that was that there was a documentary course, like a series of filmmaking courses, because there wasn't any filmmaking at the time at that school. Um, that were kind of run like in an underground, like crazy fashion via the English department. So I took all those courses and my professor became my first boss and I worked on a documentary and that's kind of where I learned to edit, produce, shoot, all that stuff in a very renegade fashion. And I used to be very self-conscious like, oh, I didn't go to film school, especially like eventually later on when I did a little bit of work in like commercial freelancing, everyone's like, "Oh, what film school?" And I'm like, "I didn't go to film school." But it's funny because I still use like my documentary skills now. So haters gonna hate, but I be working.
Yeah, I've heard from a lot of artists they who get a degree that they actually have to unlearn some of the process, you know. Your creative writing is amazing. Just how you can articulate and put on paper your feelings. And I completely understand why journalism appealed to you at first. You are definitely a creative soul,
Oh,
sister.
thanks, friend. Yeah, like the journaling is like I kind of think about it now because I'm getting older. I'm like, fuck, what if I die? Who's gonna find all this stuff and all the shit that I've been talking for years since I was a child? But I mean, I do that because like I mean, I don't know. It helps me remember things first of all, and then second of all, it's like my therapy. I'm like, you know, once I see things on paper, the world is a better place. It's kind of just my thing. I do
You go
often.
back and
Yeah.
reread.
And it helps me see the present a lot clearer. I recommend journaling to everyone. It's hard though, because you really have to sit there and like put the time into. I mean, you could do it a variety of ways, but definitely takes time. And you definitely it makes you face yourself, and I think that's why some folks don't really like it. But it is why I like it. And still going strong. I wish I had my journal next to me. I'm gonna show you.
That's a journey to self actualization, you know, rereading past, you know, comments on your life, you know, looking in a mirror, examining.
Yeah, it feels healthy. I like it. It's kind of interesting too when you look back because there's things that definitely change, and then other things that are just like, oh shit, I've been the same. Like,
Like the hamster on the wheel.
what's that?
I mean, I don't journal much at all, but I'll read like some diary entries. I'm like, oh, yeah, yeah, still struggling with that. Still doing, yeah, Luce, you're still doing that. Yeah, yeah, hey up. Yep, still the same.
That's all of us though, isn't it? It's like, what other option is there? Just give up? No, we're all gonna like. My grandma used to say something funny. Her mantra, one of her many mantras was like, try and try until you die. And then she would start laughing.
Try and try until you
Try
die.
and try until you die. And that is what we were all doing in this life.
Yes, absolutely. I wish I had
Oh,
learned this earlier in my life. Yeah, faking it until you make it. You know, that resonates right now.
oh
That is
yeah.
so true. You just got to have the courage, do it, fake it, you know. Yeah, in the last job I had, my God, I thought, wow. I thought people had it together. They do
It's very
not.
prevalent. Oh my God. Especially, yeah, the number of times I have seen and heard people give wrong information so confidently and fucking everything up. It's like, damn, I'm trying too hard in these streets. Look at this Miss Thing over here just being like, yeah, it's like, $7,000. And it's just like, no, you're like overestimating this shit. It's all fucked up now. They're like, oh, by the way, you have a deadline tomorrow. Here's the footage. It's like, it's
Oh, I feel you. I know it. I know it, girl.
not the right way, but okay.
What's that documentary you worked on? Your first one?
So the one that I started like with my professor,
Yeah.
it was again, this was operating in a renegade fashion. So she kind of just started collaborating with the oceanography department of the school. And they're kind of like an interesting bunch too, those scientists. They're like wild sailors themselves. But they were doing a mission testing a new technology, and it was basically it looked like a little yellow submarine, but it was piloted by satellite, and they were going to fly it across an ocean for the first time. So they did the Atlantic Ocean from New Jersey to Spain, and the thing made it. So we ended up making a film about it that aired on PBS. And that was like the wildest year of my life. But it was an incredible experience because like my professor, she put like the core group of us that were working on this film, it was me and three other young women and then my boss Dina. So it was like an all-female crew, and then like we were supported by people who were either just graduating or like still in that sort of renegade film program at the school in Jersey. So it kind of gave me like a very one of a kind experience because I never really got that sort of teamwork again. Um, being in like the real industry or whatever. Like we were like in it to win it together. A lot of long hours, a lot of travel. It was a wonderful adventure. It was really great, but we worked
Right,
hard.
I'm totally changing the subject now, Lizette. I love that you're dating an Englishman and he took you to Wales. Oh, I love Wales. My mum's Welsh. I spent many summers in Wales with all my cousins getting into trouble. To be born Welsh is to be born privileged, not with a silver spoon in your mouth, but music in your blood and poetry in your soul. How beautiful is that?
Wow, it's gorgeous. Like the UK is beautiful in the summertime. Beautiful. Like the highway is just lined with like all wildflowers. I mean, it does rain quite a bit, but I mean, we had long stretches where it was like 3, 4 days of sunshine, and it's just so dreamy. Wales is amazing because there are so many, and like admittedly, we were only in Cardiff, I believe. Went to a record store and went to see two castles, but there's castles there. Like how magical. I'm gonna be back there in about a month. Yeah, like a month and 2 weeks. The English. My bestie's English. My man is English. I have an English cousin very close to my heart. English
We're
culture.
international, baby.
Yes.
Okay, let's go back a bit. So, your mum, with a little bit of money in a suitcase, got on a plane from the Philippines to New York. Like, Does she know anyone?
Nope, no, not an idea. Yep. And I don't know that she actually like actively chose New York. It was just kind of like, I guess they did it through like an agency and they were just like, "Yep, you're off to New York." She didn't know anyone. She was just kind of like down to start a new adventure. I think she had me when she was 27 and she met my dad like 2 or 3 years before. So she must have been like 24 or 25. So she was just kind of wilding out, I think. And that was like part of the decision of her coming here. But where she landed was also very interesting because she ended up working at Bellevue Hospital in the infamous psych ward. So she kind of had like a hard go at some wild stuff, I think. But when I asked her about it, I was just like, "Yeah, were you scared? Were you nervous?" Like, she's like, "No, it was fun. I was just doing what I have to do." But that's her personality too. So we butt heads. Like growing up, we did butt heads because I'm very sensitive, very sentimental. I'm a big crybaby, etc. She is just a hard ass. That woman is not scared of nobody and nothing, and she has no
And
filter.
she's
She's
tiny.
shorter than me. I'm 5 feet tall. So this woman, my dad used to say, "Your mom's eyes are like flashlights. She just looks at you and you like turn into a rock." Like that's her energy. She's an intense woman. But like if you've ever seen the movie Crazy Rich Asians, like that's her aesthetic. So she's like a hard ass, but then she has like her little designer bag. She drives a little white Benz. She's a character, man. But my mom's a badass. She's just down. She was down. And she was like, "I'm just gonna work hard, do my thing, enjoy my life."
I bet that's what your dad liked about her, her tenacity.
Probably. Yeah, I think so. For sure. That and she was like, "Oh, cute and pretty and whatever." Yeah, they were like really cute and romantic. Like I love to look at back at my mom's house. She still has like all these albums and stuff, and I love looking at their albums when they first got together. It's like so cute and romantic. My dad is sappy. That's where I get my crybaby syndrome from because he's sappy. Very sentimental. It's like holding in your poop. Yeah, it's healthy. Why would you like holding your tears? It's like holding in your shit. You want to be constipated? Damn, you gotta let that out.
Oh, I love it when big, strong men just sing mushy love songs. So wonderful. Oh my goodness. I'm not really into country,
I was
but
about to ask.
oh, when you can be vulnerable like that and write a song for someone you loved. Oh,
Yeah, I love romance, man. Romance is good.
I feel like heterosexual relationships need a makeover. Like, we're not cool.
Is it not?
I mean, I don't know.
Really?
Well, we don't have like parades and shit to celebrate
Oh,
it.
I guess I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I guess yeah, it's like viewed as like a conservative thing to do, but I mean, to me it's like love. Like, it's love. Like why wouldn't you be happy about love? And like, we're all very different in this world. So yeah, some of us happen to be straight or whatever. Like that's fine. But yeah, I don't yeah, it's interesting that it's considered. I didn't know that that was like a thing. I also live under a rock. I'm very into like niche things, I guess, so I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, being into niche stuff. That's good. There's so much noise out there. So I'm going to ask all my guests the same question. Lizette, what are you into? What are you listening to right now?
All the usual. I'm very into heavy music, so that's something that can go with like my background. But since a child, I've been listening to like the noisiest shit on the planet. Started with like new metal because like what do you have access to as a 12-year-old in suburban New Jersey? So it started there, and then I found all the good shit. And so, what am I listening to these days? A lot of this sort of like stonery rock, or not like stoner metal kind of stuff. So
Wait, what? What's stoner
it's mad
metal?
slow and sludgy and dun dun. Yeah, yeah. I'm also having a jazz era. I'm listening to a lot of jazz. So it's like, metal in the morning, and then as I wind down, I go into the jazz. Sun Ra is great.
Ooh, that's avant garde,
Yeah,
darling.
I'm late to that party. I'm late to every party, but that's good stuff. Ooh,
I like my classics. I like my Miles. I like my Coltrane.
Miles Davis. Yep. Oh, Alice Coltrane. My honey put me onto there's a song she does called Earth, and that's like one of our songs. Oh, so lovely. Alice Coltrane.
She got a good voice.
It's all instrumental.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I'll send it to you.
Yes, please do.
Yeah. Music. Music's a big part of your life too. I mean, that's how we kind of bonded.
Absolutely.
Oh, I should tell the story of how I fucked up epically with that Portishead concert, remember? So Lucy like invited me, like we had just met. I think we were like 3 weeks into our friendship, and I was like kind of intimidated by everyone in New York. And Lucy just like was like, "Oh, like last minute, but do you want to go to Portishead tomorrow night?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." And so I missed probably the last time I would ever get to see Portishead. I fucked up bad.
Yes, Portishead, Glory Box, probably one of my most favorite tracks ever. We've seen a lot of bands together
We've
though.
seen tons.
So many.
There was shortly after that, you had a birthday party, and I think it was an English artist too. I forgot his name.
Plan B.
Plan B, you remember.
Oh, I remember Guy got so wasted. I was like, where's Guy? I turn around, I'm at the bar, and there's these two security guards dragging his arms out.
That was like very shout out to Guy. Dang, I haven't talked to him in ages, but that's another one of our English friends who is from Newcastle. That's like a thing there, so I learned. Just drink till you oblivion.
Yeah, I think unfortunately that's just like an English thing, binge drinking.
Yeah, that's so I'm learning.
Yeah, well, when I was in Norway, they throw it back. It's peculiar because it's hard to get alcohol. The shops are only open certain times of the day,
Oh shit.
right?
So then people go rabid, like, oh, it's closing.
Yeah, not healthy. Sort of defeats the purpose, right?
Yeah, it's the land of the Vikings.
Vikings. Not many brunettes, dude. Yeah, we're all mutts though.
Heck yeah, definitely. Especially, yeah, I mean, that's like it's the modern world. People are like going everywhere, you know. I don't think it's uncommon to find people who are like of different backgrounds. And I like that though. I that's something I think, if I am to move from this place, I always want like a diverse like community. I think I really need that in my life because I can't relate to like a place being like super homogenized. That would freak me out a bit. Just not how I was brought up, and I'm just not used to it. That and I like food from all over the world. So if it's just like, yeah, here we have like one kind of food, it'd be like, man, this is boring. And Asian supermarkets need my Asian supermarkets. I don't cook that much, but still, it's a comfort to like walk into one and be like, oh yeah, it's all my stuff. They have like English supermarkets too, don't they? There was one in New York. Yeah, like you could get your Marmite and stuff like that. It's the one with the orange. It's like jelly and it has chocolate on top.
Oh, Jaffa cakes.
Jaffa cakes. I love those. Yeah, I love me a good biscuit.
Oh yeah, dip it in your tea.
Well, I'm not like really a tea girly, but now that I'm dating an Englishman, he's put me onto tea. So when he's here, we start our day with tea.
He's more of a coffee fella.
Both. He starts with tea and then he starts like inhaling massive amounts of coffee throughout the day. He'll have like 6 cups of coffee. I think he's cutting down.
Yeah, when he was here, he was like, "Go get some bougie coffee." He sounds like that as well.
That's his thing, bougie coffee. Yeah, it's just unacceptable if it's not like a certain caliber of coffee. He's not that snobby. He'll have some, but like Dunkin' Donuts. So here's the thing, Jersey girls, we love our Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts coffee is like a thing in Jersey, and like Gareth just looks at that and is like, that is horrid. I'm like, it's cute. It's what Jersey girls do. We drink our Dunkin' coffee, little iced coffee, go to the beach. It's like a thing. I ain't ashamed. I ain't ashamed. I'll drink Dunkin' coffee.
All right, let's go back to your first documentary. It wasn't called The Yellow Submarine, was it?
No, yeah, it did have a name. So like the technical name, like when its call sign when it came up to like talk to the satellites was RU-27, which is extremely clinical. Well, the school I went to was Rutgers University, so RU was the call sign. But they called it Scarlet. Scarlet was her name. It was a she. She was a tough girl, covered in barnacles when they pulled her up. There were 2 points where she got pulled up and She got a nice scrub down. She did make it to Spain. So it was cool, you know? The dedication that, I think like that's something I'm very attracted to when people are dedicated to their shit. I'm very into that when people are like focused on something and I like telling that story and hearing those stories because I think in filmmaking that does take a lot of that too. You really, especially editing, it's very tedious and meticulous. And so I think I relate very much to people who have like, are dedicated to a cause. And being in that science world, that was definitely there on both camps, science and filmmaking. So I was very lucky to be able to experience that.
So when you saw that air on PBS, I'm sure you were very proud seeing that come to fruition, all that hard work. So you like, that's my
Yeah,
jam.
pretty much. I mean,
So like, what did you do next?
oh, that's when I met you. So I was like, yeah, so that time in my life was a little crazy because like as we mentioned, my dad was like really sick kind of like as he progressed and as I grew up. And there was some really hardcore stuff going on then. And so when I finished school, I was not only working on the documentary, but I was also helping to take care of my dad. So learning all about like diabetes medicine and like being very stressed about that. That's its own story. But why did I mention that? Oh, so I was kind of like taking care of my dad, doing this documentary, but kind of feeling stuck. Like it had always been a dream of mine to work and live in New York City. I mean, it was just where I grew up is like 20, 30 minutes away from New York. So it's not like I was trekking across the world or anything. But I think growing up, I was always kind of dissuaded from that. Like, do something more practical. What is art? Like, what are you going to do with that? New York is dangerous. New York's expensive. You really shouldn't do that. That's not like a thing. Like, what's wrong with you? So naturally, not, I don't like being told what to do or even suggested, which is something I get from both my parents. I was like, I'm doing this. I really would love to do this. So as the documentary stuff started to wind down, the film was already out. It had gotten distribution through PBS. I was like, what's the next step? I started applying like crazy to jobs in New York, and I ended up at a startup that was kind of like about energy conservation and like super nerdy again, like very like it had some science components. Our boss, I guess he was like in that world. And we were just kind of like this creative group working in Brooklyn, and that's how I met our dear Lucy. So that was the next step after the documentary world. I mean, I did more documentaries after I left that startup, but yeah, that was kind of the next step. I realized this dream of like being a creative person in New York, and I guess I've been at it since, still standing somehow.
Yeah, good for you. You're a hustler, especially when you're freelance in New York, you got to hustle. Didn't you do a documentary on pets with like missing limbs?
Yeah. Yeah, so that was like in 2013. That was when I decided to like kind of move on career-wise from the startup. I ended up working for a production company who did like sort of natural history topics, and at that point like the television world was so steeped in like reality TV, so that was kind of like the approach to natural history documentaries is more like reality TV, and that kind of led me to my steps after that because I didn't really want to do that. But I did work on a PBS documentary, and it was called My Bionic Pet, and it was about people who were making prosthetics for animals and like helping animals that, they were missing a leg because they were born without one, or um there was a sea turtle who got his one of his legs snapped off, so they build a rudder for him. This group of scientists, and so this big sea turtle now has like a little rudder that he puts on every day, and he's able to swim with his turtle friends. It was like very heartwarming. He's just kind of, it seems so superfluous, like, oh, why would you spend so much time doing that? But I mean, it's someone's beloved pet. There was like a pig too who had a wheelchair. I forgot his name. Crispy Bacon. Oh, Chris P. Bacon was his name. Yeah, it was a good
Classic.
time. I think that's a thing I like too about documentary work is that you meet all thyou know, what they want to do in the world, and that's driven me forward too. It's cool to tell their stories.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, what are you working on now?
Well, I just started a new day job, so it's food related. I'm working on a lot of food recipes, which is very in vogue these days. Everyone wants to hear about food. So that's kind of my day job right now, which is cool. But I'm also doing a lot of editing for a lot of musicians, bunch of local folks, and also I have somehow it kind of still blows my mind, but I'm cutting reels for the legendary Melvins, which is awesome. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So Buzz the singer is out on tour with a bassist named Trevor Dunn, and they're almost actually done with the US tour, but it's been like it's gonna be 12 weeks in total, and I do like a video a week for them, and that's really cool. So I do it with my honey, Gareth, who is the tour manager. So he's like filming stuff and then he sends it to me and I edit it and then I send back the finished. That's been the workflow. But it's been super fun. I'm like I think that was something I named for myself recently that I wanted to do is like I would love to do stuff with musicians and it's all materializing now and I'm like it kind of freaks me out a little bit.
I love music, all genres. You know, it's I can't play anything. I think I might be a bit tone deaf actually, but you know, it's not political. It unites people, brings us
I
together.
think that's the power of music. I think that's what attracted to it to me too. Like it's such a big it's a way to communicate like that transcends like yeah, all the bullshit. Politics, spirit, like religion, whatever. Even language, because there's so much music that I love that's not in English. I'd have no idea what's being sung or what this is about, but it like moves me and I mean that's all that matters. There's some element of like I don't know, not to get all woo woo, but it's like it is spiritual, you know? Like music just like amps your shit up, no matter what the language is. So it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like sometimes too words they get in the way.
Yeah, 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 for sure. I think in art, yeah, words can definitely get in the way. Like sometimes when I'm editing, like I try to explain to people, like some folks have asked me like, "Oh, what made you like made this decision?" or like, "How do you pace it out?" I'm like, "I don't know. You just feel it. You just have to, it has to feel right." And I don't know that everyone is able to, I think people can. Like you access that. Like, you know, you watch something and you're just like, you know, the vibe is right. This is the right way to go. And then you watch something else and it's just like, ooh, something's off here. I think people pick that up. And I think music does that too.
Hey, we ran out of time. I want to thank Lizette so much for doing this with me. She has always been my cheerleader in life. Her friendship means the world to me. I love you, Lizette. I'm getting emotional. Try until you die, right? I don't know what I'm doing. None of us know what we're doing here, right? This thing called life. Thank you, dear listener, for your time, and I hope you will tune into the next podcast. Thank you.